I remember a different Japan, a Japan that felt like it was constantly reaching for something more, something bigger than itself. A nation that once felt like the future, not just for itself, but for everyone. It was a time of incredible technological advancement and economic prosperity. In the 1980s, Tokyo buzzed with ambition and curiosity. The streets were alive, a constant hum of activity and innovation. Japanese salarymen were everywhere, not just as tourists, but as ambassadors of a new economic order, but as pioneers of an economic miracle. They were the face of Japan's global expansion, representing a nation on the rise. Japan mastered the art of absorbing foreign ideas, taking inspiration from around the world, refining them, and exporting them back as something uniquely Japanese. They weren't just copying, they were innovating and improving. The ambition was palpable. You could feel it in the air, a collective drive to achieve greatness. It wasn't just about selling cars or electronics, it was about showcasing Japanese ingenuity and quality. It was about shaping the global conversation, influencing trends, and setting new standards. Young Japanese flocked to Western universities, eager to learn and bring new knowledge back home. Artists drew inspiration from abroad, blending Eastern and Western aesthetics to create something entirely new. And bookstores brimmed with foreign literature, reflecting a thirst for knowledge and a desire to understand the world. Japan's gaze was fixed on the horizon, always looking for new opportunities and challenges. Fueled by a belief in progress and internationalism, there was a strong sense of optimism and a commitment to building a better future. Companies like Sony and Honda became global icons, symbols of Japanese innovation and quality, sold not just products, but a vision of a connected, high-tech future. They were selling a dream, a promise of a better tomorrow. The nation rose from the ashes of war, a testament to the resilience and determination of the Japanese people, to become an economic powerhouse by engaging with the world. They embraced globalization and transformed themselves into a major player on the world stage. But looking back from 2025, that era feels distant, almost like a dream, a fading memory of a different time. The confidence has faded, replaced by a sense of uncertainty and doubt, replaced by introspection and a focus on domestic tranquility, a turning inward, a search for meaning within. The salaryman who once dreamed of New York now finds comfort at home, seeking solace in the familiar. Now finds comfort at home. The world outside seems less appealing, less certain. The question lingers: what happened to that boundless energy, that unwavering belief in the future? And can it ever be recaptured? Can Japan rediscover its ambition and once again shape the global conversation? Japan's globe-trotting energy has faded into a gentle hum of domesticity. The economic bubble's burst in the early 90s triggered a slow retreat from the world stage. Grand ambitions gave way to managing decline and preserving stability. Conversations now center on local life, not global trends. Young people seek security in domestic careers, and studying abroad is seen as risky. Curiosity has turned inward, celebrating local culture and craftsmanship. Cool Japan is as much for domestic pride as for foreign audiences, reinforcing a comfortable bubble. After decades of striving, there's a collective desire for calm, but in perfecting the art of living with itself, Japan risks losing the habit of learning from the world. A strong yen once symbolized Japan's global reach, a testament to its economic prowess and international influence. It represented a period of expansion and confidence. Now, a weak yen quietly isolates the nation, creating a sense of insularity and limiting its engagement with the wider world. This shift has profound implications for its future. International experiences, once readily accessible, have become luxuries, out of reach for many, particularly younger generations who stand to benefit most from global exposure. Studying abroad is now fraught with financial anxiety, creating a significant barrier for aspiring students. Consequently, fewer students return with global skills and networks, hindering Japan's ability to compete in an increasingly interconnected world. Even tourism abroad is expensive. Outbound travel lags behind other nations, indicating a decline in international exchange and understanding. Domestic travel booms, but it reinforces the familiar rather than challenging it with the new, limiting exposure to diverse perspectives and ideas. The weak yen discourages bold corporate investment overseas, making it more difficult for Japanese companies to expand their global reach. While exports are cheaper, foreign expansion is costly, creating a disincentive for companies to invest in new markets and technologies abroad. So companies focus inward, prioritizing domestic markets over international opportunities. The ambition to build a global footprint, once a driving force behind Japan's economic success, is tempered by harsh economic realities, forcing companies to scale back their international ambitions. The weak yen acts as a constant force, pulling Japan inward, reinforcing a sense of isolation and limiting its global influence. It discourages the risk-taking and global engagement that once made Japan dynamic, hindering its ability to adapt and thrive in a rapidly changing world. Horizons, both personal and national, are quietly shrinking, potentially impacting the nation's long-term prospects and its role on the global stage. Walk through Kyoto's serene Gion district or the electric Shibuya crossing, and Japan feels more international than ever, a melting pot of cultures briefly converging. Tourists fill the streets, a vibrant wave of global citizens eager to experience the country's unique charm. Their languages echo everywhere, a symphony of foreign tongues creating a cosmopolitan atmosphere. Inbound tourism is booming, reaching record numbers and injecting significant revenue into the economy. This influx is creating a vibrant cosmopolitan veneer, a surface-level impression of global interconnectedness. But this connection is mostly one way, a unidirectional flow of people and experiences. The world comes to Japan, drawn by its rich history and captivating modernity. But perhaps surprisingly, fewer Japanese venture out to explore the globe themselves. Interactions are often transactional, a simple exchange of goods and services. Tourists experience a curated Japan, carefully crafted for their consumption and enjoyment, while locals serve a stream of foreigners, providing hospitality and facilitating their journeys. There's proximity without genuine connection, a shared space that doesn't necessarily foster understanding. Japan becomes the admired host, a gracious provider of experiences and memories. It is not seen as a fellow traveler, an equal participant in the global exchange. This passive internationalism stifles curiosity. The drive to explore beyond familiar shores diminishes. When the world comes to you, delivering its wonders to your doorstep, the urge to explore it fades, replaced by a comfortable insularity. The illusion of connection, the fleeting interactions with foreign visitors, replaces real engagement, the deep and meaningful exchange of ideas and perspectives. Japan is admired, its beauty and traditions celebrated by the world. Its culture consumed, packaged and presented for the enjoyment of international guests. But it remains behind the counter, a spectacle observed rather than a partner engaged. Watching the world go by, a detached observer in its own global narrative. This is not true engagement. It's a performance of internationalism, not its reality. It's splendid isolation, a beautiful but ultimately limiting existence. Gilded by admiration, surrounded by the trappings of global attention. The bars of the cage are golden, shimmering with the allure of international recognition. But they are still bars nonetheless, restricting movement and limiting perspective. The world visits, showering Japan with attention and appreciation, but Japan risks forgetting, losing sight of the value of reciprocal exploration. How to visit the world, how to engage with it on equal terms, and how to learn from its diverse tapestry. Beyond economics, language is Japan's ancient fortress. English proficiency remains low, creating a psychological barrier to the world. The language barrier lets in select ideas but keeps Japanese voices from flowing out. In business and academia, limited English fluency isolates Japan from global innovation. World-class research often stays untranslated, its impact diminished. The barrier fosters a sense of separateness, making the outside world feel distant and intimidating. The education system's focus on rote memorization fails to produce confident speakers. Low proficiency discourages engagement, reinforcing the cycle of isolation. The language fortress preserves order, but at the cost of genuine global conversation. If language is a fortress, Japan's media is the closed-circuit TV inside. News and entertainment are overwhelmingly domestic. Global events appear only when they directly affect Japan, often as brief, disconnected headlines. The result is a national echo chamber with little context or sustained analysis of world affairs. The media industry's structure favors local stories and close ties to domestic power. Foreign reporting is rare, and the public's field of vision narrows. Without diverse viewpoints, it's easy to believe Japan's way is the only way. The absence of global news is really an absence of perspective. Japanese politics, like its media, is focused inward. Debates center on domestic issues, taxes, social security, regional projects, while foreign policy is left to a small elite. Japan, despite its economic power, rarely takes bold stances on global issues. Political leaders lack the mandate or ambition to articulate a global vision. Voters prioritize pensions and prices over international engagement. As a result, Japan often follows rather than leads on the world stage. Without a strong political voice for internationalism, isolation deepens. The focus on domestic tranquility reinforces the nation's insularity. This creeping isolation is more than a trend, it's a state of mind. It stifles ambition and creativity, especially among the young. In a global economy, no nation can thrive as an island. Disengagement risks leaving Japan behind, its innovative spirit atrophying. The path forward requires a conscious effort to reopen to the world. Reform education to foster real communication, not just grammar. Create opportunities for students to go abroad, and welcome foreigners as part of society. Media and political leaders must bring the world into Japanese homes and minds. Japan's unique culture should be shared and enriched through global engagement. The future isn't at home, it's out in the world, waiting to be embraced.